But we have a ton to get to tonight. It's going to be a really busy week in the news. Tonight, of course, we are coming up on 3 weeks since Republicans fired their own party's Speaker of the House. In so doing, they basically got rid of Congress. They barely avoided shutting down the whole federal government, but then they did shut down the legislative branch of government. The House of Representatives cannot function without a speaker. Republicans fired their speaker. They appear to have no idea how to hire a new one. They also appear to have no real urgency about doing it either. So we are 3 weeks into the House of Representatives effectively being closed. But they're apparently going to try again for a speaker vote tomorrow. We'll talk about that this hour. We'll talk specifically about how Republicans' idea for a plan B, a sort of trick play they've been hinting they might want to pull to avoid having to pick a leader. That is a trick play that will not work. It is something they really cannot do, which we'll talk about that this hour, but it just puts all the more pressure on them for tomorrow. Also, just a heads up that at the same time that drama is going to get underway in Washington tomorrow, up the Acela corridor in New York City tomorrow, we're going to have drama of a different kind. And this is likely all going to be happening literally at the same time of day tomorrow. Former President Donald Trump, as you know, he's facing more than 90 felony criminal charges in 4 different jurisdictions. The case where he's actually been showing up in court already is none of those criminal cases. It's the civil case against him and his business that was filed by the New York Attorney General. Now, you do not have to show up for a civil case. Former President Trump does not have to be there in court for this case, but nevertheless, he has been there. And I'm pointing that out because tomorrow we are expecting live testimony in that trial, testimony against him from his former attorney and his former fixer, Michael Cohen. Both Michael Cohen and Trump are expected to be there in court in real time, in person. I'm flagging this to you, not just because of the expected, interpersonal drama, the spectacle of it all, but because Trump's role in this case, including his behavior in the courtroom, has already been a substantive issue in this case. This is the case where the judge imposed the first gag order on Trump after Trump attacked a member of the judge's staff. This is the case where the judge hauled everyone back into court and threatened Trump with jail after Trump's attacks on the judge's staff were nevertheless left up on a Trump campaign website. This is the case where Trump was admonished, basically legally smacked down by the judge, because Trump became so enraged and animated during some live testimony from some real estate appraiser that Trump could not control himself in the courtroom. He was speaking out loud and gesturing and making a scene in the courtroom, which caused the judge to admonish him in the courtroom. So this case has been a little touch and go so far in terms of the former president's behavior. He's used to doing whatever he wants without any consequences his whole life. This case in particular seems to be really bothering him. And the judge in this case thus far appears to be quite unimpressed by the former president's behavior. The judge also seems to be unafraid to hold the former president to the same standards any other defendant would be held in a federal court civil trial, including just how you need to physically behave yourself when you are in a courtroom. I'm pointing all this out because if Trump already got admonished by the judge in this case because he was so overwhelmed by his feelings and his anger about some appraiser's testimony, tomorrow he's going to be sitting there through testimony by Michael Cohen, which is likely to be way more provocative and way more upsetting to former President Trump than anything that has happened in the courtroom before. And he has barely been able to hold it together in the courtroom up till now. And then there's going to be cross-examination of Michael Cohen by Trump's own lawyers, and that is likely to be a 4th of July fireworks show if the rest of this trial is to be anything to go by. So that's going to be tomorrow. That is all going to happen live in a New York courtroom in front of a judge who does not play. And maybe everything will go smoothly and great and everybody will be calm, cool, and professional. We shall see. But this is the case where the judge has already threatened to jail Trump for his behavior related to this case. And so just a heads up for tomorrow. For that will likely be happening at the exact same time that the House is voting again on trying to pick a new speaker. It is all worth watching for.